Your question is, which act of British Parliament abolished the East India Company monopoly over trade in India? Your options are A. Regulating Act, B. Pitt's India Act, C. Charter Act of 1813, or D. None of the above. Right answer is C. Charter Act of 1813. Your question is, by which of the following act Legislative Council of India received the power to discuss the budget? Your options are A. Indian Council Act 1861, B. Indian Council Act 1892, C. Indian Council Act in 1909, or D. Indian Council Act 1919. Right answer is B. Indian Council Act 1892. Your question is, in which of the following acts the provision was made for the establishment of Supreme Court at Calcutta? Your options are A. Regulating Act 1773, B. Pitt's India Act 1784, C. Charter Act 1813, or D. Charter Act 1833. Right answer is A. Regulating Act 1773. Your question is, by which one of the following acts was the Federal Court in India created? Your options are A. Indian Council Act 1861, B. Government of India Act 1909, C. Government of India Act 1919, or D. None of the above. Right answer is D. None of the above. Your question is, in the context of Indian history, the principle of diarchy refers to. Your options are A. Division of the central legislature into two houses, B. Introduction of double government, that is central and state governments, C. Having two sets of rulers, one in London and another in Delhi, or D. Division of the subjects delegated to the provinces into two categories. Right answer is D. Division of the subjects delegated to the provinces into two categories. Your question is, the Federal Court of India was established in which of the following year? Your options are A. 1935, B. 1937, C. 1946, or D. 1947. Right answer is B. 1937. Your question is, the Act of 1909 was associated with. Your options are A. Introduction of separate electorate, B. Decentralization, C. Diarchy, or D. Legislative councils. Right answer is A. Introduction of separate electorate. Question is, which of the following acts set up diarchy system at the central level? Your options are A. Government of India Act 1935, B. Government of India Act 1919, C. Indian Councils Act 1909, or D. Indian Councils Act 1892. Right answer is A. Government of India Act 1935. Your question is, which of the following is or are the principal features of the Government of India Act 1919? First, the introduction of diarchy in the executive government of the provinces. Second, the introduction of separate communal electorates for Muslims. Third, devolution of legislative authority by the centre to the provinces. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. A. 1 only, 2, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, or D. 1, 2 and 3. Right answer is C. 1 and 3 only. First, the introduction of diarchy in the executive government of the provinces. And third, devolution of legislative authority by the centre to the provinces. Your question is, consider the following statements. First, the Montagu Chelmsford reforms of 1919 recommended granting voting rights to all the women above the age of 21. And second, the Government of India Act of 1935 gave women reserved seats in legislature. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, or D. Neither 1 nor 2. Right answer is B. 2 only. Second, the Government of India Act of 1935 gave women reserved seats in legislature. Your question is, which one of the following acts provided for a federal polity in India? Your options are A. Government of India Act 1909, B. Government of India Act 1919, C. Government of India Act 1935, or D. India Independence Act 1947. Right answer is C. Government of India Act 1935. The question is, in the federation established under the Act of 1935, statutory powers were given to the. Your options are A. Federal Legislature, B. Provincial Legislature, C. Governor General, or D. Provincial Governor. Right answer is C. Governor General. Your question is, the provision for the establishment of All India Federation was included in the. Your options are A. Government of India Act 1935, B. August Offer 1940, C. Government of India Act 1919, or D. Cabinet Mission Proposal 1946. Right answer is A. Government of India Act 1935. Your question is, a federal system and diarchy at the center was introduced in India by. Your options are A. The Act of 1909, B. The Act of 1919, C. The Act of 1935, or D. None of the above. Right answer is C. The Act of 1935. Your question is the distribution of power between center and states as in the Constitution of India is based on which of the following plans? Your options are A. Morley-Minto Reform 1909, B. Montagu-Chelmsford Reform 1919, C. Government of India Act 1935, or D. Indian Independence Act 1947. Right answer is C. Government of India Act 1935. Your question is which act for the first time made it possible for Indians to make some share in the administration of their country? Your options are A. Charter Act 1833, B. Charter Act 1853, C. Government of India Act 1858, or D. Indian Councils Act 1861. Right answer is A. Charter Act 1833. Your question is which of the following acts introduced a bicameral legislature at the center? Your options are A. 1961 Act, B. 1917 Act, C. 1919 Act, or D. 1915 Act. Right answer is C. 1919 Act. Your question is the Indian legislature was made bicameral for the first time by. Your options are A. Indian Council Act of 1892, B. Indian Council Act of 1909, C. The Government of India Act of 1919, or D. The Government of India Act of 1935. Right answer is C. The Government of India Act of 1919. Your question is which of the following acts introduced the principle of constitutional autocracy? Your options are A. The Indian Councils of Act of 1909, B. The Government of India Act of 1919, C. The Government of India Act of 1935, or D. The Indian Independence Act of 1947. Right answer is C. The Government of India Act of 1935. Your question is with reference to Indian civil services, which of the following statement or statements is or are correct? First, the Government of India Act on 1919 provided for a separate examination for the Indian civil service which was to be held in India. And second, in the Indian civil service in 1941, the percentage of Indians was more as compared to the Europeans. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Code A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. Both 1 and 2, or D. Neither 1 nor 2. Right answer is C. Both 1 and 2. First, Government of India Act 1919 provided for a separate examination for the Indian civil service which was to be held in India. And second, in the Indian civil service in 1941, the percentage of Indians was more as compared to the Europeans. Your question is, in the federation established by the Government of India Act of 1935, presidiary powers were given to the. Your options are A. Federal Legislature, B. Governor General, C. Provincial Legislature, or D. Provincial Governors. Right answer is B. Governor General. Your question is, which one of the following is not an important and permanent constituent in the constitutional history of India as adopted in the Government of India Act 1935? Your options are A. A written constitution for the country, B. Elected representatives responsible to the legislature, C. Envisaging a scheme of federation, or D. Nomination of official members to the legislature. Right answer is A. written constitution for the country. Your question is, one amongst the following was not a silent feature of the Government of India Act 1935. Your options are A. The Act provided for an All India Federation, B. Residuary subjects were allocated to provincial legislatures, C. It marked the beginning of the provincial autonomy, or D. It abolished hierarchy at the provincial level and introduced it at the center. Right answer is B. Residuary subjects were allocated to provincial legislatures. Question is, why is the Government of India Act 1935 important? Your options are A. It is the main source of the Constitution of India, B. It gave independence to India, C. It envisages partition of India, or D. It abolished the native states. Right answer is A. It is the main source of the Constitution of India. Your question is, which one of the following acts lead to the separation of Burma from India? Your options are A. The Indian Councils Act 1909, B. Government of India Act 1919, C. Government of India Act 1935, or D. Indian Independence Act 1947. Right answer is C. Government of India Act 1935. Your question is, the proposal for framing of the Constitution of India by an elected Constituent Assembly was made by. Your options are A. Simon Commission, B. Government of India Act 1935, C. Crupps Mission, or D. British Cabinet Delegation. Right answer is C. Crupps Mission. Question is, as per Cabinet Mission Plan in the Constituent Assembly to decide allotted members' seat in each province, one representative was in ratio to which population? Your options are A. 8 lakhs, B. 10 lakhs, C. 12 lakhs, or D. 15 lakhs. Right answer is B. 10 lakhs. Your question is, who among the following persons was not a member of the Cabinet Mission? Your options are A. William Wood, B. Patrick Lawrence, C. Stafford Cripps, or D. A.B. Alexander. Right answer is A. William Wood. The question is, Indian Constituent Assembly was established under. Your options are A. Government of India Act 1935, B. Cripps Mission 1942, C. Cabinet Mission 1946, or D. Indian Independence Act 1947. Right answer is C. Cabinet Mission 1946. The question is, in the interim government formed in 1946, the Vice President of the Executive Council was. Your options are A. Jawaharlal Nehru, B. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, C. C. Rajgopalachari, or D. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Right answer is A. Jawaharlal Nehru. Question is, who of the following was not the member of the interim national government formed in August 1946 AD? Your options are A. C. Rajgopalachari, B. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, C. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, or D. Jagjivan Ram. Right answer is C. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Your question is, who gave the idea of a constituent assembly firstly for the formation of Constitution for India? Your options are A. Swaraj Party 1934, B. Congress Party 1936, C. Muslim League in 1942, or D. All Parties Conference in 1946. Right answer is A. Swaraj Party 1934. Your question is, which of the following statement or statements is or are true in relation to Constituent Assembly? First, Assembly was based on adult suffrage. Second, the Assembly was a result of direct election. Third, Assembly was a multi-party body. Or fourth, Assembly worked through various committees. Choose the correct answer by using the code given below. Code A. 1 and 2, B. 2 and 3, C. 3 and 4, or D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Right answer is C. 3 and 4. Third, Assembly was a multi-party body. And fourth, Assembly worked through various committees. Your question is, member of Constituent Assembly who drafted the Constitution of India were. Your options are A. Nominated by British Parliament, B. Nominated by Governor General, C. Elected by legislative assemblies of various provinces, or D. Elected by Indian National Congress and Muslim League. Right answer is C. Elected by legislative assemblies of various provinces. Your question is, with reference to Indian history, the members of the Constituent Assembly from the provinces were. Your options are A. Directly elected by the people of those provinces, B. Nominated by the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, C. Elected by the provincial legislative assemblies, or D. Selected by the government for their expertise in constitutional matters. Right answer is C. Elected by the provincial legislative assemblies. Your question is, who was the first elected chairman of Constituent Assembly? Your options are A. Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, B. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, C. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, or D. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Right answer is C. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The question is, who chaired the first meeting of Constituent Assembly? Your options are A. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, B. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, C. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, or D. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Right answer is C. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Your question is, the first decision of Indian Constituent Assembly was chaired by. Your options are A. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, B. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, C. Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, or D. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Right answer is B. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. The question is, who was the chairman of Constituent Assembly of India? Your options are A. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, B. Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, C. Mr. Iyer, or D. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Right answer is A. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Your question is, who was the president of the Constituent Assembly of Independent India? Your options are A. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, B. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, C. C. Rajgopalachari, or D. K. M. Munshi. Right answer is B. Dr. Rajendra Prasad.